The greatest myth in the WNBA dump has officially been exposed. The myth of all myths. The deception of deception. For the better part of 2 years, maybe even 3 years, the mainstream media has been trying to convince us that Angel Reese is a huge star.
Given that Angel re-established herself as the WNBA's face, it may be related to the fact that she shot 39% from the field and did not even place in the top 10 of the All-Star voting. Statistically among the league's qualifying players with one of the lowest scores.
Well, the first returns are coming in on the WNBA All-Star voting. Of course, it will be in Indianapolis. And as you can imagine, Caitlin Clark is leading the All-Star vote. By the way, it looks like a massive turnout.
In the meantime, Caitlin Clark wasn't just taking part. She was leading the polls with over 515,000 votes, leaving Rhee in the dust as if she had forgotten the voting had begun. If you're rooting for Caitlin and the rest of the Fever, keep voting for them in this year's All-Star game and leave a comment below that reads baby goat over baby giraffe down.
Be honest. Second straight year that Clark has led the fan voting. She was second in early returns in fan voting in 2024, but jumped to first with around 700,000 total votes by the end of the period. So I'm wondering, are we going to see 1 million votes this time? Because I saw somebody earlier that said so far, voting is actually way up versus exactly where we was at this time last year.
At that point, the entire story begins to fall apart. If Rhee is the name that everyone is promoting, why are followers responding with votes? Let's face it, Angel Rhee has been so popular lately that you can't even open a social networking app. If you blink during a commercial break or pass an advertisement at a bus stop without seeing her face, she has emerged as the most noticeable 30% shooter in contemporary basketball history.
Caitlin Clark has 3 times the amount of votes. 3 times the amount of votes as Angel Reese. So, there you go. I suspect Sophie Cunningham's numbers are going to grow. After what we've seen, somebody said, I saw some things online about they sold $1 million worth of Sophie Cunningham jerseys and something in the neighborhood of 12,000 all went out in one day.
Angel Rhee wasn't just covered by media outlets. They practically turned her into a case study in branding, with Forbes describing her as the WNBA's growth engine and sports shows portraying her as the league savior. Some of these articles didn't even mention Caitlin Clark, who was out here casually dropping 30-footers and shattering attendance records as if it were just another Tuesday.
Some in the media even do investigative journalism and claim that Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA because she leads the league in followers on social media, along with missed layups and a complete lack of athleticism. Of course, the vast majority of her followers are bots and lonely men, most of which are not buying tickets or watching her games on television because they can't afford the 5 pesos a month to watch the Chicago Bravado on WNBA League Pass.
And the NBA was all over it. Reese's highlights were promoted on the league's social media pages, as though she was the next big thing, giving her the type of screen time that even celebrities would only dream of. She was everywhere, doing podcasts, interviews, sponsorships, and being called Angel, telling the world that she is the reason people are watching. Bold claim, especially when those viewers looked more interested in watching someone else. Rhee accepted the fact that she was being booked like a Marvel film.
Hi, Angel. David Moses with the Bigs Media. Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question.
Yeah, we'll move on. Thank you. Move on to Zoom.
Because Clark created one Caitlin while Rhee discussed legacy. When it came time to cast their votes, the fans let the statistics speak for themselves and let Clark soar to the top of the polls while Rhee barely made the conversation. That's not just a surprise, it's a reality check. Clark's numbers weren't just solid, they were superstar level. Fans don't just want charisma, they want results.
There's a supposed, people keep telling me, supposed second most popular player in the league that doesn't look like the second most popular player at all. And in fact, a rookie I have been touting that is playing better than Angel Reese, Kiki Arifin. Well, basketball fans are showing up, and they have got her voted ahead of Angel right now. Angel is not in the top 10.
And that discrepancy explains why all of this excitement didn't result in votes for each article praising Angel Reese's charm. While Ree was trending for tweets, Ctalin Clark was out there posting box scores that deserved recognition. Clark was popular for his highlights. Being well-liked and having an impact are two different things, and the fans recognized the difference.
According to Forbes, Ctalin Clark is not responsible for elevating this turd into the mainstream. The ladies responsible for elevating the WNBA are Angel Reese and the unknown face of the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces.
Forbes claims that Ctalin Clark is not responsible for bringing this turd into the mainstream. Rather, it was the women who brought the WNBA to prominence, along with Angel Ree and the anonymous face of Las Vegas. Forbes, in all its journalistic wisdom, conveniently ignored Clark and crowned Ree as a key figure in the league's explosion. This type of narrative building doesn't hold up when the fans are writing the next chapter, and when all was said and done, Ctlin's name was at the top of TH.
Enough to tell you where Angel Reese's place is. Well, it's 13th place. And I can tell you right now, Jonquel Jones ought to be ahead of her.
This goes beyond basketball. It's a litmus test for trust. Fans prefer to choose their own candidates and make their own decisions. When they saw the All-Star ballot, they decided that Reese didn't place in the top 10 or even come close, even though the media, endorsements, and marketing dollars were all in place. When it came time for fans to cast their ballots, they passed.
Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
Let's look at the numbers now, as this isn't just a popularity contest. Ree may be grabbing rebounds, but it's difficult to convince people that you're an elite player when you shoot 39% from the field, especially as a post player where layups aren't exactly all out. Star conduct.
There is obviously no way Angel can compare to Ctalin Clark as a shooter or a passer. And there is no way Angel can live up to her dynamic social media / podcast presence as a shooter or a passer or even a shot blocker. She's blocked only 2 shots so far this season. She doesn't even do that.
While her fans point to her rebounding numbers, a closer look shows that many of those are what people are calling me. That 4-point game against the Fever, let's not forget, was Reese's moment, and she put up a dud. That's not the stuff that gets votes, that's the stuff that gets memes. Bounds recovers from her own errors. Effectiveness is still important in this league.
She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing else. She has not, she's got self-awareness. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player.
If all you bring is rebounding and empty swagger, you won't cut it in 2025, especially when rookies and veterans are putting up double-doubles without the assistance of a camera crew. Sure, she fights for boards and stays active, but teams want players who can score, pass, defend, and hit free throws when it counts.
They continue to talk a good game instead of being about a good game. This is fan voting. This is literally vote for who you are a fan of. Vote for who you're a fan of, or vote for who you think is most worthy. Vote for who you're a fan of. Vote for who you think is most worthy. Vote for who you think are the stars in this league. Angel Reese fans, you guys aren't fans of her? You don't think she's most worthy? You don't think she's a star in this league?
Let's talk about connection. Ctalin Clark didn't ask for a crown. She earned it. She resonates with fans because she's real, composed in chaos, lethal in clutch moments, and consistent when the spotlight burns brightest. Clark isn't chasing hype. She's building history. She's turned skeptics into supporters and packed arenas into standing ovations. Every game, she proves that excellence isn't loud, it's undeniable. Angel Reese, meanwhile, is still stuck in rehearsal. Volume doesn't equal value. Swagger without stats is just noise, and the scoreboard doesn't lie. Confidence is compelling, but only when it's backed by production, not percentages. This league wants to grow. It needs stars, not just personalities, but proven performers. Fans don't follow drama. They follow greatness. Right now, Clark is delivering both the highlight reel and the hard numbers. She's a catalyst, drawing new eyes, new energy, and record-breaking attention. Reese? She's still searching for rhythm and a reliable jump shot. Here's the bottom line. All-star nods aren't handed out for Instagram clout or catchy sound bites. They are earned through execution, elevation, and excellence under pressure. Clark checks every box. Reese? She's still trying to find her footing and her fan base. One is shifting the WNBA's gravity with every no-look pass and deep three. The other is learning that headlines don't win games, buckets do. Let that be the lesson.
Not only is the self-proclaimed Barbie not in the lead, Angel Reese isn't even close to making the top 10.
Angel Reese isn't even close to making the top 10, and the self-proclaimed Barbie isn't in the lead. Let's pit Angel Reese against some of the WNBA's best all-around forwards. For example, Aaliyah Boston is a two-way menace who not only scores points but also shuts down opponents. Her fans gave her almost 447,000 votes for her entire package. Kiki Erie garnered over 213,000 votes while posting double-doubles, as if it were her day job. Fans are willing to vote for these athletes because they are versatile and don't simply have one noteworthy skill. They touch every area of the stat sheet.
7, 8, 9 on the list are Kelsey Mitchell, Sabrina Ionescu, and Lexington Hull. The following three are Kiki Ariafin, Kelsey the Plumber, and Satu Sabali? You mean to tell me these unknowns are ranked ahead of the face of the league?
Even if you zoom in on Reese's strengths, it's impossible to ignore the glaring holes. Sure, she hustles under the basket and fights for position like her lunch money's on the line. But rebounding alone doesn't build a complete player. Analysts agree the WNBA is a league full of multi-skilled threats, and players who only dominate in one area risk becoming one-dimensional. Reese's stat line reflects a player who hasn't yet found that balance. Until she expands her game, her ceiling will stay firmly capped.
Lexi Hall, 217,000, and there is Kiki Arifin, 213,500. She's averaging a double-double, a legit double-double, with a good field goal percentage. Angel Reese, well, wait a minute, I thought it was about you too. Everybody's watching because of me too, except everybody's not watching because of you too. I mean, guys, if the ratings ain't enough, and the attendance ain't enough, and what happened at LSU ain't enough, and all this other stuff ain't enough to tell you where Angel Reese's place is, well, it's 13th place.
Even though Ree is a force on the rebound, her poor scoring and lack of offensive impact prevent her from receiving serious all-star consideration. This leads us to the main question in today's WNBA. What truly qualifies for an all-star nod? While rebounding may garner headlines, fans obviously want more. So let's examine what the voters actually said.
So even right down here, the Mirror's calling out Angel Reese. As for Reese, one-time All-Star from last year in a rookie season alongside Clark, who appears set to earn a second honor, has struggled in 2025. 23-year-old, notorious for her rebounding supremacy, averages 11 points, but the Sky are 3-8. And she's shooting like, I don't even know what she's at now. It's probably less than 35%.
The voting procedures are straightforward. Fans have the largest say in the conclusion, accounting for 50% of the vote, with players and the media contributing 25% apiece. With that influence, they decided to pass on Angel. In comparison, Ctalin Clark received an incredible 516,000 votes, which completely dwarfed Reese's 173,000. This isn't a vote gap. Rather, it's a vote canyon large enough to accommodate a halftime show and a storyline.
Let's see. Fan voting runs through the 28th. Culmination of fan voting, 50%. Player votes, 25%. And media votes. Oh, that's going to be where Angel Reese makes her move. Media votes, 25%, will determine the All-Star starters. Looking right at you, CBS. You still ain't released the rating.
The All-Star vote is meant to gauge popularity, peer respect, and media momentum. But despite months of non-stop publicity promoting Ree as the league's breakout star, fans said no thanks. This result shows something more profound than simple preference. Clark, on the other hand, supported the hype with genuine performances, game-changing plays, clutch buckets, and moments that couldn't be overlooked. They didn't fall for the headlines because they evaluated the performance based on gameplay.
Nafisi Collier, who is probably the leader of the MVP pack right now, is at 485,000. Aaliyah Boston is third, 447,000, as she should be. Aaliyah should get some MVP conversation. I'm going to be honest.
The message becomes even more evident when you examine the remaining 10. Aaliyah Boston received close to 450,000 votes because she is reliable and influential on all sides of the court, not because she is ostentatious. Collier, the MVP frontrunner this season and last year's Defensive Player of the Year, received over 500,000 votes. Fans are favoring content over showmanship and personality over spectacle. Reese's numbers simply don't add up.
I know Kelsey Plum is likable. She's a lovely lady, but you mean to tell me she's more popular than Angel Reese? The same Angel Reese who has been begging, and I mean begging, people on social media to vote for her? Angel Reese, number 13 on the list, 173,000 votes.
Even though Ree leads the league in rebounds, her one-trick pony status is telling because in a league that values versatility, fans aren't fooled and want players who can do more than just work hard on the boards. They want players who can stretch the floor, defend difficult assignments, and carry their team when it matters.
Didn't shoot a single free throw. Although she did have 12 rebounds, her average, which does lead the league. But a couple of times Angel drove it and flung up just these wild shots from 3 or 4 feet that missed the rim by, 3 or 4 feet. Just looked so ridiculously awkward, like she'd never even played basketball.
Angel Reese's rise has been powered more by persona than performance. From viral sound bites to bold branding, she's carved out a media identity that commands attention, but headlines alone don't win hearts. Fans aren't just showing up for a quote, they're showing up for results. The league, and much of the media, jumped the gun, fast-tracking a narrative before the numbers could keep pace. They tried to script a star before she'd solidified her game. And now, the All-Star fan vote has delivered the verdict. Production matters. Voters chose proven forces like Ctalin Clark and Aaliyah Boston over Reese, not because of flash, but because of facts. What does that tell us about how the WNBA should build its stars? Simple. This is a reality check. You can't manufacture greatness. You can't slap a face on a billboard and expect loyalty to follow. Fans are smarter than that. They're watching every play, studying every box score, and backing players who deliver. The message is loud and clear. The audience isn't buying the hype, they're investing in impact. And right now, the voices that matter most aren't echoing what the media is selling. They are rewriting the script with truth, not trends.
These numbers are 100% accurate, and Angel Reese is the 13th most popular player in the WNBA. This probably means she will not be a starter in the All-Star game, which would make sense because Angel Reese shouldn't be a starter for a regular season game.
This vote sends a message, not just to Angel Reese, but to every player in the league. If you want to be an All-Star, you've got to deliver. Consistently. It's not about who talks the loudest. It's about who impacts the game the most. And fans? They are watching closely. Reese's media image and her on-court reality just split publicly. The All-Star voting didn't just expose the gap, it spotlighted it. Fans looked past the commercials and the headlines, and they made it clear, hype without substance doesn't fly anymore. This vote didn't just shuffle the All-Star deck. It reshaped how we define WNBA stardom. Fans are demanding production over promotion. Reese still has endorsements and media buzz, but the fan verdict? That's the reality check, and the league can't ignore it. The All-Star process has become more than a popularity contest. It's a mirror. And what it's reflecting is a shift in what truly matters. Not branding. Not sound bites. Buckets. Consistency. Impact. This vote wasn't a fluke. It's a glimpse of the future. If Reese wants to be the face of the league, she'll have to earn it on the court, not just on a billboard. So if you're riding with Ctalin Clark and the rest of the Indiana Fever, vote. Support. Be heard. And hey, drop a baby goat in the comments if you know the difference between flash and greatness. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you in the next one.